Good afternoon, everyone. Hi. All right, I want everybody to raise their hand, bend it, and pat yourself on the back. Yay! No. I am so excited. My name is Wendy Hicks. I'm the Assistant Dean of Enrollment Management and Financial Aid. I know some of you have not spoken to me and some of you have, but you've probably spoken to one of my wonderful team members, Bree Charles. And we're just so excited for you to hopefully be joining the YSE community. We've read your applications, watched your favorite part, the video essay. And so it's just been a wonderful journey to kind of see you start. Somebody shaking their no, absolutely not. It's been such a wonderful journey to really get to know you all through the application process, answering your questions and connecting with you. But I do want Bree to kind of talk to you all because I know you've all built a special connection with her on the info session. How many of you came to info sessions or any virtual opportunities? Yes. And so we just want to make sure that you know it's such a wonderful feeling to see this come full circle. And so I will turn it over to Bree, who will talk to you more about the makeup of the admitted student class.
Thanks, Wendy. I am so excited to see y'all. Some of us have met on the road. We met in the city that you are based in. Some of us met online in an information session. Some of you I met most recently on some Zoom calls if you've been doing some of our admitted student virtual sessions. But it feels so good to have y'all here in person on our campus to get a sense of who we are as a YSE community. So you can see what our admitted student profile looks like. This is something we are so proud of. A lot of you are MEMs. That happens every single year. But within that giant MEM, 3/4 of the circle is going to be all of those specializations. So some of you are going to have those interests in water. Some of you are more interested in policy work. Some of you are going to be looking at the intersection of business and the environment. And we're really excited for you to get a sense of what that feels like while you're here this week. And then, of course, we have our MEM5, so those of you who are currently at Yale and are planning on staying for another year. We have our MESCs, those of you who are interested in doing research here and who are going to be working with one of our faculty members to do that, and our forestry students. For those of you who somehow missed this fact, we were founded in 1900 as a forestry school. So forestry is very near and dear to our hearts. And half of the wood in this building is from the Yale Myers Forest. So we are almost in the woods right now, if you can think about it that way. And then amongst y'all, we have some really smart people here, right? Y'all made it through undergraduate programs. Some of you are like looking at the average GPA and you're like, really? Really? Where do I fit in this? But you're here for a reason. We're really excited about the caliber of students that we got to bring in this year. We had our second largest ever application pool, so the fact that y'all are here in these seats really does mean something. But that's a little bit about who you are, and you'll learn more about each other as we go through our program for the rest of today and tomorrow. But now I'm going to hand it back to Wendy to kick off the rest of our morning or afternoon.
And so with that said, having a school like YSE, you're going to need a top leader. And so we're so excited that Dean Indy Burke is joining us to welcome you. And if you can help me in congratulating her, because she's been appointed for another 5 years as our dean here at YSE. Woo! So I will turn it over to you, Dean Burke, and she's going to welcome you all. Thank you for coming. You can do a podium? Okay.
Yeah, thanks. I just asked Bree to send me some water. I don't know if all of you can tell that everything just started blooming, but I can tell that everything just started blooming. And believe me, we are happy because we were ready for spring. I'm excited to see all of you. I want to just get a couple of hands up. How many of you are not from the U.S.? Okay, there's a good number of you. How many of you are from the U.S. but from west of the Mississippi, my part of the world? Okay, there's a fair number. And how many of you are on the east side? Okay, most of us, yeah. All right, that's great to know. How many of you flew and stood in line? I'm glad you're here. Look around the room at the empty seats, and thank you so much. And think about those who are not here because they're still standing in line and will be here tomorrow. I want to welcome you, and this is the very beginning of the program that this incredible team has put together for you to learn about our school and the opportunities and the community here. What I want to do today is tell you why you should come here. Some of you are thinking about other schools. Some of you are wondering if now is the time to come to graduate school. And some of you are thinking about other things you might be wanting to do right now, but I want to convince you that now is the time to come, and here is the place for you to come. We are the top environmental school in the world, and we're building on a legacy, a 125-year-old legacy of bringing science to solutions, or as we say, of our mission of bringing knowledge and leadership to a sustainable future. We have incredible breadth and depth to our work, as you have seen online and now you'll see in person, and we have a huge amount of momentum in our impact. Should you come here, you'll experience a school that is nimble. People don't think of academia as being nimble, but let me tell you, we are nimble and we have changed a lot in the past decade. I've been here for much of that. We create important science that leads to solutions. We bring that knowledge into professional practice, and we provide the best education we can to develop leaders to address the myriad of complicated environmental challenges that are out there. My part in this program is really short. I just have what will amount to about 15 minutes, and I feel called to remind you of the need for leaders like you because of the urgency of the current environmental challenges, and the need for solutions to be developed and implemented in the coming years, in the coming months, in the coming years and decades. 2024 was the warmest year on record. 2025 was not far behind. We expect 2026 to be a warm one as well. The last decade was the warmest decade on record. Cities are hotter than they have ever been before, with heat waves, rising levels in some parts of the world that are at the threshold of survivability, particularly for those living in non-ideal housing situations. Carbon dioxide levels are higher than they have been in the longest record we have, which is 800,000 years. And they're not just a little bit higher. They are way higher than they have been in the last 800,000 years. This season is hottest and driest, something personal to me, in my home territory of the U.S. Rocky Mountain West and much of the American West. Snowpack was already very low. It's melting quickly with almost no chance to replenish the snowpack, which is the source for essentially all water needed by humans, wildlife, and fish for the West. Higher temperatures worldwide are leading to more drought, reducing water and food that's available for human consumption. Biological diversity is plummeting, with something like 44,000 species at risk with extinction. And that diversity is crucial for the functioning of the planet as well as the sanctity of nature. The United Nations recently reported that sea level rise poses unthinkable risks for the planet and humans on it. Several weeks ago, a chunk of ice the size of Connecticut fell off the continent of Antarctica. These environmental impacts disproportionately affect underserved communities on the planet, and there's a need to address these environmental injustices. I'm not saying this to depress you. What I'm trying to do is to inspire you that we need leaders to lead us out of this mess. There's never been a more important time to enter graduate school for training, and there's no better place for you than the Yale School of the Environment. For 125 years, we've been bringing science to solutions through scholarship, teaching, and practice. No other environmental school has this legacy or the current impact that we have through our faculty members' scholarship, through their engagement with finding solutions, and through our producing alumni who are leading in the environment all over the world. Let me say a few more things about our faculty and our alumni. Our current faculty are engaged in scholarship on, and here's what sounds like a laundry list, but is a list of the most important environmental issues facing the world: climate change, urban science, environmental justice, green chemistry and engineering, industrial ecology, ecosystem conservation and management, water science and management, business and the environment, energy and the environment, environmental economics and policy analysis, and of course, forest ecology and management. In each of those fields, we have world-renowned scientists on our faculty, and in each of those fields, the faculty are involved in creating solutions, new sustainable materials, new approaches to equitable, renewable energy development, new policies to support a sustainable future, new business approaches to a green future, setting priorities for the conservation of biological diversity, new approaches for building the cities of the future to minimize the causes and consequences of climate change, new ways to manage our changing forests for carbon and biodiversity, and much more. The faculty you will meet in the classroom are unique, unlike any other school. They've served in the White House. 3 of our faculty members have served years in the White House, in the Department of Justice, on the Global Environmental Panel on Climate Change, in the World Trade Organization, in the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, in U.S. Treasury, and more, bringing solutions to cities, states, nations, and international levels. No other school of the environment, sustainability, natural resources, however you call it, has that combination of scholarly power and the engagement in public service and bringing science to solutions. Our faculty have awards too many to mention, from the National Academy of Sciences to the International Volvo Prize in the Environment. They bring that experience and their brilliance into the classroom, and you would benefit enormously from that. No other school of the environment has the star power of our alumni, who are in leadership positions all over the world at city, state, and national levels, leading in non-governmental organizations and think tanks. They lead in universities. They lead in business and industry. They create their own businesses. Every student here becomes part of an alumni network that is unstoppable in its impact, and they connect together through shared experiences and a strong will to help one another. Here you will be bathed in an environment that is focused on understanding the complexity of environmental challenges and addressing them through all kinds of ways: technical, scientific, humanities, policy changes at every level. You'll be bathed in an environment with unimaginable opportunities, with speakers who are internationally renowned. We have an impossibly rich array of activities. And just ask current students. They can't figure out how to manage their time. Speakers, field trips, courses, student interest groups, and an incredible diversity of opportunities. By being a part of Yale University, which I will assert is the best university in the world, you have access to all the richness of Yale University in addition to the opportunities here in our school. You will be bathed in fun if you want to. We laugh a lot, as you could hear down the way there. We're supportive of one another. We go ice skating together. We watch the stars together. We have themed dinners together. We have TGIF every Friday together, and much, much more. There's a lot of fun, but we're sober, too, at this time. The environmental challenges facing our nations and our planet, our communities, and our ecosystems today are as tough as any we've seen in my lifetime, physically, biologically, socially, and politically. The challenges facing higher education in the United States are tougher than any since World War II and maybe beyond that. The challenges facing our international relationships and economy are tough and getting tougher daily. We've entered a period of tremendous instability and war, challenges that impact all of us and the quality of life for people across the globe and the environment. But we're a community of faculty, staff, and students that leans into tough challenges, and we support one another. We're a community that finds optimism in one another. We all have the same vision. We all care about making a difference in the world. A community with a vision of a sustainable future, even in the face of what feels like impending doom sometimes. We understand that solutions exist, and those solutions are rooted in science and social science and the humanities. We embrace the diversity of human richness in experiences, backgrounds, and perspectives needed to find and implement these solutions. We're a community of leaders willing to listen, lean in, and learn more about how we can better and more effectively communicate about the environment, to enable citizens all over the world to learn, because we are willing to learn how to reach across political divides. This is crucial at this time. We will be leaders by making our science accessible to the public and our solutions attractive to a broad array of society. I hope you'll come learn with us, learn about the environmental challenges, learn about cutting-edge interdisciplinary science and solutions, help develop that knowledge and those solutions, build a long-lasting community with us, and leave us as leaders who can guide the planet into a sustainable future. So thank you. I am happy to take a couple of questions about the school. Please recognize that as dean, sometimes I don't know the answer to detailed questions, but we have an array of people here who can answer detailed questions. Questions about the school? Oh, come on, I saw your videos. I know you speak. I watched you. Yes.
What's your favorite class taught at the School of the Environment in this past academic year?
My favorite class. That's a good one to think about. It's faculty evaluation time. And so I have read every evaluation of every class that exists in the school. And I'm going to tell you that Forest Dynamics got the best reviews in the last year. Our lecturer, Marlise Duguid, who's also a research scientist, teaches this course, and the students absolutely love her. And that's what appeals to me about the course as much as about the topic. We also have a course on climate change science that's taught in the fall by Scott Denning. Spectacular evaluations for that. Almost all of our courses have really good evaluations. Those are two that I can think of that really stand out. Scott Denning will stand here with his ball that represents the Earth and jump up and down on tables with it to explain complicated topics to you. So, okay. Oh, yeah, good.
How would you characterize the YSE community?
Warm, absolutely warm, inquisitive, passionate about making a difference, and curious. That curiosity part really matters to me. Sometimes passion comes with a degree too much of certainty, and when you're in graduate school, you need to be asking questions like why and what if. And so I think that element of curiosity that characterizes all of you, we looked for that in your applications. That's why I can tell you it's a big part of the characteristics of our students. Curiosity, warm, and just incredibly engaged. I mean, it's hard for me to walk down the hall without getting highs, and at this moment, lots of congratulations. Yeah?
You said the school has changed a lot in the last 10 years. How do you describe that change, and how do you anticipate it'll change in the next 10?
Sure, big question. When I got here, we had not had a strategic plan written in quite a long time, and I think the last strategic plan, a dean many decades ago had gone into his office and written it with the door closed. But we had a super inclusive strategic planning exercise involving faculty, staff, students, alumni, and external supporters. And we developed a number of really high ambitions, and I'll name the ones that come to mind the most. First and foremost, we wanted to diversify our faculty, staff, and student body. We just weren't representing the world enough. We have really made a huge difference in that. Take a look at our faculty, and if you can find a web page from 10 years ago, you will see an enormous difference in the diversity of our faculty. We've worked hard to diversify the student body. We have certainly diversified the staff. We began initiatives in environmental justice. We had no one here who was a true expert in environmental justice. Now we have 2 world-renowned scholars and practitioners in environmental justice, Gerald Torres and Dorceta Taylor. We started an initiative in urban science and have hired 2 brand new faculty members in that. And one of our existing faculty members has now been given the position of being a member of the National Academy of Sciences. So we have become world-renowned in urban science. We started an initiative in environmental data, and we're still working on that quite a bit, and we now actually have a certificate program in environmental data as well. We have 6 new online certificate programs. Those reach external audiences more than internal, but there's a lot of interplay. I mean, the faculty effectively take material they've developed for one audience or the other and do it in both places. Environmental justice, urban, climate change. We now have a climate change specialization and a lot of expertise in climate change, as long with a visiting professorship in climate change. We have more space now than we used to have, which is quite a bit different. We have 2 other new members of the National Academy of Sciences. One is in public health, environmental public health, and the other is in environmental engineering. So those are just some of the things. We are just at this moment in May checking off the last strategic plan, which we produced in May 2017, and we're developing new initiatives. And I can just give you a little foresight into what some of those are. We are continuing to work in environmental justice, environmental data science, urban science, climate change, and all the other areas that we work in. But we're also going to be probably starting an initiative in water science and management. We are likely going to be digging deeper into this idea of bipartisan engagement. We feel that it's crucial to speak across party lines to be able to make a difference to the future. We have done a couple of important things in the last year and will continue to do that. We are likely to begin a program that focuses more on national security and the environment. I mean, what is the impact of climate change on migration and international stability, for instance? Oh, oddly, I forgot to say we now have an unbelievably more international contingent of students than we used to have, with a real focus on the global South. And so many of these initiatives going forward will have a dimension of focus on the global South, water in the global South, international security in the global South, etc. And being here at this moment means that you can feed into this process of creating new strategic initiatives. And the students are a great source of that for us, of ideas. What they see missing lots of times feeds into our new strategic initiatives. So I could talk for 2 hours about the last strategic plan, but that's the last thing you really want to hear. Okay, I'll turn it back to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Burke. And Dean Burke was just appointed for her 3rd term as dean. And so y'all will have the opportunity to be here under her leadership while you're at YSE. And that is something that is really incredible and special because of how she's guided our school over the past few years. We are so excited that you are returning in your role and that y'all have the opportunity to learn from her and be under her initiatives. And next up, so you've heard from the leader of YSE, and now you're going to hear from the student leaders here at YSE. So we have a student affairs committee, and they work with our current students to hear your perspectives, share that with YSE leadership, and really help shape what your experience looks like and what the experience looks like for students in the next few classes. So I'm going to have them come on up. Welcome up to the stage.
Okay.
And you have this mic and that mic.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Do you want to share or you want your own? Okay.
Hi, everyone. How are we doing? Good. Thank you. Yes. Okay. My name is Naudi Encarnacion. I use she, her pronouns. Congratulations. Thanks for coming. I couldn't make it last year, so I'm pretty jealous of you guys right now. But yeah, just give yourselves a pat on the back, honestly, because I feel like when I got in, the shock lasted for some time. So I don't know how you guys are feeling. But yeah, I'm a first year MEM. Can I actually raise of hands? Who's MEM? MF? MESC? MFS? Okay, I see you. All right.
Small
Yes.
but mighty. Small
Okay.
but mighty.
Yeah, and I'm specializing in people equity in the environment, PE2. You'll learn a lot of acronyms.
And my name is Keisha Rochester. I'm also a first year MEM student, and I'm specializing in industrial ecology and green chemistry. And we're both part of the Student Affairs Committee, which operates similarly to student government, and it has two divisions, student life and academic affairs.
Yeah, I'm one of the 4 people on academic affairs.
And I'm one of the 2 people on student life, which is often called Studly. We work to approve and support funding for the different student interest groups that exist within YSE. We have more than 40, and so we work very closely with the Office of Student Services and the Business Office to allocate funding for SIGs, conferences, big ticket events, and other opportunities that will support the YSE community.
Yeah, and then you'll have tabling time at 5, I believe, right, with the SIG, so really excited there. But yeah, Academic Affairs works with Matthias Sheldwater. I don't know if you've met him yet, but if you haven't, you will eventually. And he's the Dean of Academic Affairs, Assistant Dean. And so we focus on building equity and accessibility into YSC's curriculum, but we kind of serve as these like vessels of feedback between students and then leadership. So yeah, the bulk of our work for ACAF comes from these master's planning committee, and we kind of just sit in a room with other staff and faculty and do reappointment assignments and then decide on classes. So I cannot emphasize enough Dean Burke's bringing up the feedback part. Like, I think YSC leadership does a really good job of like engaging with students on feedback and like requests it pretty often. So yeah, I just want to kind of highlight that. And then as another like point, they just hosted drop-in office hours today, actually. So there's just a lot of opportunity to give your feedback to leadership.
And I'll talk a little bit about what the different student interest groups do. They primarily exist to explore the different interests that exist outside of the courses. So if you have an interest and you want to see those represented, we help to facilitate the process of creating that student interest group or SIG. Just this year, we've approved applications for SIGs that focus on conservation finance, the cattle industry, writing, and even photography. We also have the outdoor recreation SIG, the racket sports SIG, the food SIG, the carbon SIG, and the Create Club, which does a lot of arts and different crafty activities. And then we also have affinity groups, like Out in the Woods for queer students, Roots for Black students, the Asia SIG, the Africa SIG, and the Latin SIG.
Yeah, I could talk a lot about SIGs. I love SIGs. But yeah, I'm a member of Forestry Club. So I hope to see all, if not many of you, at tomorrow's TGIF. Thank goodness I'm a forester. Theme is Connecticut, like, because you're in Connecticut now. But yeah, I'm also a co-lead of the PE2 learning community. I'm sure you guys know like learning communities with the different specializations. And I work with Sage Magazine, who will also be at the event today at 5. But yeah, so I think we're going to talk a little bit now about our journeys into YSE, if that's okay with you guys, and why we think you should choose this place.
Absolutely. So I graduated from the University of Maryland with a degree in supply chain management, and my background is primarily in transportation. So I came to YSE after seeing the impact of consumerism and rapid delivery on the environment, but I wasn't sure exactly what area I wanted to focus on. And I know some of you are probably introducing yourself today and you're saying exactly what your specialization is, but if you're not sure or you're secretly considering a pivot, just know that you are not alone. And during my time here, I've been able to explore a lot of different opportunities at YSE and within the greater Yale community. So last semester, I took a course on carbon dioxide removal. I also participated in the Climate Innovation Intensive at Sci-City. So I worked in a small group where I learned about climate entrepreneurship, and then we developed and pitched a climate solution. And then I went on a wind farm tour at Block Island, and I learned about the role of policy on scaling renewable energy projects. And then I think you'll find this is very common. I attended countless lunch and learns that are hosted by the different learning communities. And in the same way that I've been able to have my journey here and figure out like what my interests are, you'll be able to do the same here at YSE.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Los Angeles, and then I spent the last 6 years in Atlanta. I got my bachelor's from Emory University in environmental science, and yes, in environmental science and chemistry. And then there I worked in a environmental justice lab. I worked on a Superfund site in the west side of Atlanta. So, okay, I'm saying nods. Yeah, that kind of was my introduction to community-based research and this nexus between, you know, what is ethical research versus how do we engage the community on it. So I worked at Georgia State University for 2 years, doing more, honing my skills. And now I'm here. Yeah, and I would say YSE has been an incredible experience. And one of them that I feel like kind of facilitated that was the mods orientation that happens in August. It's like 2 weeks, like a crash course of your time at YSE, pretty intensive, I would say. And then I think you also get an option the week before to do some type of workshop. Like I did the GIS one, so if you want to talk to me about that, feel free. But yeah, New Haven Mods, which is the one I chose, there's 2 different ones, was kind of like you're out in East Rock Park, which if you get a chance, you might be able to see it from here. Like, yeah, if it's a clear enough day. But yeah, you kind of take soil cores and you're walking around and you're learning about the Urban Resources Initiative and their work with urban forestry in New Haven. So yeah, and I think also it was just like time for you to know and meet each other and just kind of like start building connections that you'll have for the rest of your life, really. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely second that mods was a great experience. I was in the Forest Mods, which is hosted at Yale Myers Forest. We worked in small groups and we did a lot of different work measuring trees and learning about forest ecosystems. But I would say the most memorable part is the like bonding and the relationships that you form outside of the field work. We went on nature walks, we swam in a local pond, we had game nights, we watched movies, and then every night we gathered around the bonfire, and that is when the true hidden talents seemed to come out. I can say I was thoroughly impressed by the number of harmonicas that surfaced.
Yeah, we should get them up here. That's what we need. Yeah, for me, my favorite aspect of YSC is probably how you can tailor your experience here. Like the people sitting next to you, yes, they're here with you and you all have ideally these shared similar values over the environment, but you're not going to look the same on paper. Like you're not going to have the same trajectories, and that's okay. And I love that. Like I know that you can come here and just pursue your interests and your passions and what like intrigues you, and you're going to be rewarded for it. But yeah, and when things feel like they're not working out, and because it's okay if they don't, you have so many people here that are just completely invested in your future and like what you do post Yale, and even the students here. Like we've worked, I feel like, really hard to kind of be a cohort that is approachable, and like we love talking to each other about how we're feeling and how we're doing. So yeah,
Yeah, I echo that. We have a lot of different WhatsApp groups for different interests, and I think there's a lot of like connectivity in different ways at YSE through the different like happenings in New Haven. But I echo everything that you've said. There's so many different resources that are available here at YSE, and folks come from such a wide range of backgrounds and different experiences and geographies. And so, if you want to do research in the Amazon forest, this space is for you. If you want to work on green graphite policy to replace critical minerals, this space is for you. And if you are looking for mentorship and you want to build a community of environmentally minded folks, this space is also for you. And so there are a lot of different directions that you can take your experience, and I think the best part is that you'll be doing it alongside some really amazing people.
Yeah, definitely. And we were in your shoes last year, exactly. And, deciding what school to pick, and it can be kind of difficult and stressful. So we're totally happy to be resources. Like, we did not just put our emails up here for show. Please reach out if you want. We can, while we're here, I don't know, squeeze in a coffee or something. Yeah. But yeah, so you can talk to me about, transitioning into YSE, of course, Atlanta, being co-lead of an LC or forestry club or anything. I will be at tomorrow's TGIF, so you have to come, basically. Yeah.
Yes, please come chat with us. We'll be at the welcome reception, so send us an email or, stop by and talk with us. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Should we take questions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We'd
Yeah,
be
do you have
happy
any
to
questions
answer.
right now?
Yeah. None?
They said no.
Okay. Thank you.
And really quickly, before we turn it over to the student affairs team, I did want to clarify, even with SIGs, if they're named Africa SIG, Asia SIG, out in the woods, you still, even if you don't identify as a part of that group, you're still welcome. So that's one of the great things about the SIGs, as well as the community, the learning communities. You're able to join because they really are a place for people who may identify like-mindedly to come together, but they're also happy to share information and knowledge and experiences together. And so I did want to at least share that because we've gotten a few questions from admitted students about that. So please know there is no one that's barred from entry, right? You're welcome, but I did want to just add that clarification.
All right. So for those of you who are joining us online, we're going to close out the Zoom because for those of you who are in person, we're going to do an activity. If you're not in person, you missed a lot of scared, blank faces when I said that. But thank you for those of us who are online. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for day 2. Bye. And now, for those of you who are in person, we have talked a lot about who we are as a community, but y'all get to be a part of that. On the admissions side, we look at every single application that we get, and we know a lot about y'all, and we are intentional about who we invite to join the YSE community. So our team...
So close.
Our team at the Student Affairs and Community Engagement side is going to come on up and they're going to share a little bit more about what you have in front of you. Thank y'all. There are mics and there's a clicker. Huh? There's a clicker.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Lauren, come on. Lauren and our co-host, Kenza, they're going to facilitate the activity, and then we'll talk more. We'll talk more about what we do here at YSE.
Hi, I'm just going to speak down here. She has a little stage fright, I guess. Learning real quick. So my name is Lauren Horner. I'm the Associate Director of Student Affairs, and I'm going to lead really just read the instructions of the human bingo. So this is a very fun, interactive activity. Not so much if you're an introvert, but that's okay. And you're going to get to know some of the people in the room. So, so you're going to walk around the room and find peers with the interests are listed in the boxes below. When you find someone, write their name in the box. Winner is the first person to get 5 in a row. Horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Have fun. So it's like standard bingo. Does anyone have any questions, concerns? Does everyone have a pen? Yeah, that would be a good start, right? All right, so are we timing this? All right. you want to say ready, set, go? Yeah. So if everyone could return to their seats, we're going to do some chit-chatting.
I know a couple of folks had bingo within a few minutes and got a prize. Who are those folks? All right. Did anyone else get bingo? All right. We'll have like 2 more books after. I have to run downstairs to get it and run back up. And yeah. So we'll talk to the people who got bingo after. Here you go, Lauren.
All right. So was there anything fun that you learned from doing this activity? Okay, yes. Yeah. You want to share?
Yeah, I just want to say that you should probably have a square that says is going into MF because they're hard to find.
Yes, that's a good one. So that would have made it harder for the people to get bingo in like a few minutes. What else? Okay.
I learned that Anna and I both have celiacs, which means that we get to tiki about gluten-free spots around New Haven.
So, New Haven, a small city, but great food. That's one of my favorite things about growing up around this area is that, yes, we have great pizza, but we also have really good different ethnic foods as well. So definitely take the time to explore that while here. Was there any similarities, any surprises? Oh, good. Yeah, we're pretty cool here.
It seems like nobody knows what MOD stands for. And I also have celiac, so whoever said that, I'll add to the party.
That might be a good SIG, maybe. Celiacs. I don't know. Is there anything else that was interesting, surprising, worth sharing? Anything that you're excited about from doing the bingo game? Potential friends? That'll be fun, right?
There's actually 2 people here I already know.
Oh, wow, small world, very small. Where are you from? Oh, go Delaware. I don't know too many people from Delaware, so that's really small, surprising. All right, I don't know. Is there anything else I should be? Thank you. Wait, who's the person from Georgia? That lives in Georgia? You don't want me to say Emory?
So welcome all. My name is Sinead Gallagher, and I'm going to share the presentation with Associate Dean Sonia Forrester of Student Affairs. Just a little bit to go over what we'll talk about in this session today, introduce you to the Student Affairs team, understand the role of what we do here at Student Affairs, and then an overview of the support and resources that we provide for you at YSE and Greater Yale as well. So the Student Affairs team, actually, I'm going to skip ahead and then we'll go back, because this is our team. So we have Sonia Forrester, who's sitting over here, who's our Associate Dean. Then we have Lauren, that led the game for us, who's the Associate Director of Student Affairs. We have Stephanie Batista, who is our embedded counselor, and unfortunately she wasn't able to be here with us this afternoon. Myself, who is the Associate Director of Community Engagement, and then we're currently seeking an Associate Director for International Missions and Student Success. So hopefully within the next month or 2, we will have that person, and then you'll be able to interact with them as well. So we'll talk a little bit about our work and how we support you, the incoming student orientation, housing resources, and then support resources and like key partnerships that we have with other organizations within YSE and across Greater Yale, and then talk a little bit about the SIGs, which is the Student Interest Groups. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the general areas that we support in student affairs. It can range from anything from academic support, the embedded counseling that you would meet with Stephanie, international student support, Title IX, discrimination and harassment. Sonia and Lauren are Title IX coordinators, and then Sonia and myself are discrimination and resource coordinators. So if you ever need us within those realms, please reach out to us. We offer individualized support, emergency crisis management. We have a lot of partnerships, whether it be with the cultural centers, with Yale Health, the chaplain's office, some of the other schools that are dual degree programs with us. And then some of the programs and events that we do here are this one, starting with admitted student welcome open house, student orientation, myself within community engagement. I do a lot of cultural activities. Some of our big ones are like Diwali, Lunar New Year, that brings out the whole community. We also do community dinners, which allows a time for not only students to get together to mingle with one another, but have staff, faculty come out as well. We have a meal. It's very casual, a time for us all to mingle, eat, and get to know one another. We also have, we do a graduation celebration for YSE as a whole for all graduating students. And then the same thing, our Three Karens program has a huge graduation celebration at the end of the year. We have international lunches. We do movie nights, game nights. And for me, I'm always open to suggestions. So if it's something that we're currently not doing that you think that would enhance the community, I'm always open for you to come to me and we'll explore your suggestion and see where we can move with it. An example of this is a student came to me this year and wanted to do something for the homeless community. And we actually started an initiative that we partner with several other schools in the chaplain's office to make it a greater Yale initiative. So if you have any ideas, I'm always welcome and love to hear new ideas. Another part of community engagement, what I do is volunteer and service work. So if you're interested in volunteering and doing any service work within the greater New Haven community or just within Connecticut, I'm the person for you to see. An example of that would be is that we have a partnership with Boys and Girls Club, and students go to the Boys and Girls Club and do like mini presentations for the students. And it's very broad. Boys and Girls Club leaves it very broad. They just want an educational experience for the students. And so it's a two-way partnership because YSE students also learn, and then they're teaching the students as well. We also have the BYO Cafe that you might have seen outside of Croon here, which is student-led, and Lauren actually leads that. So if you're interested in working for the cafe, that's something that is also under our realm. We do a lot of arts and crafts events as well, whether it be planting, things out in the garden. Again, we're always open to suggestions on things that you like to see within the YSE community. So I'm going to pass it over to Sonia.
Is there an handheld microphone up here? Both of them. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm going to back up for a second. Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. My name is Sonia Forrester. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Affairs and Community Engagement. I've been at YSE for exactly 15 months. I came here from California about a year and a half ago. And I've worked in student affairs for a very long time, but I could tell you one of the things that stands out for me at YSE is this like warmth and like connection and community. I feel like somebody said to me the other day, like, you've been here for about 5 years now, right? Like, no, it's been about 15 months. But I go to Shanae's community dinners and, you know, I know I look youngish. Students mistake me for a student. And so there's this warm embrace and connection that I hope you all get to be a part of, because it's the most beautiful thing about YSE. I was meeting with 2 second years yesterday, and I asked them, graduation's coming up. What are you going to miss the most? And both, without hesitation, was like, the people. So these are your people, these are your folks. And so the activity that you just did, I hope it started to, build those connections for you all, so that if you decide to come here, when you get here, you will already have a community of people that you're connected with. To transition a little bit from what Shanae was talking about, so student affairs looks very different depending on which institution you attended. So someone went to Emory, student affairs there probably includes like Res Life and student activities and all that stuff. Because we're an academic school, we do everything around student affairs. So a lot of it is about supporting you and making sure you're able to succeed academically, career-wise, personally, whatever it might look like. A huge part of our job is the connections through all of that we do. We try to be creative in our thinking and how we address student needs. So I'll give you an example. We've heard from students with everything that's happening in the world, in the country, that they could use some hope, right? And it's like, how do you help people find hope in a way that's like easily accessible? And so we put a whiteboard in the lobby and we put some questions on it about what does hope look like? You could draw it, you could write a poem, whatever it might be, and within days it filled up. The best part of it is like going through and just reading other people's comments, and it kind of helped create a sense of like, connection and belonging without actually doing all that stuff. So in saying all that stuff, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about incoming student orientation, because yes, a part of it starts today, but at orientation, we do a deep dive into not only getting to know what resources are here for you to help you succeed at YSE, Yale-wide, New Haven, whatever it might be, but also, again, helping to form those connections with each other. So we have 2 orientation sessions. The first one is on August 14th for international students. And international students' needs are kind of different from domestic students, and so we try to focus on those areas. Monday is for everyone, including international students, and it's a day-long event. There's food, there's music. If we could dance, we would. Sometimes we do. But it's just where you're hearing from all the different groups across Yale. Some of the standout ones are health insurance. Everybody wonders about health insurance, right? Safety stuff. So we have those folks come and talk to you about it. We're also offering tours, popsicles, lunch, and it'll be a good day. I think after orientation, it runs into mods, which the student leaders talked about before, and that's an epic event in itself. Leading up to orientation, in the next, after April 15th, we're gonna send out monthly newsletters to help prepare you for your time here. There's lots to do, lots to think about, and we don't want you to feel like you don't have access to information. So look out for those after you commit. We'll also have information on social media, so information will be there. And then the last thing on the bottom right there, welcome.yse@yale.edu. Once you've committed or decide that you want to attend YSE, that email is dedicated to answering all the questions that you have, and it's monitored by multiple folks in academic affairs, student affairs. If we don't know the answer, we'll find the people and forward it to them and get any answers that you might need. And then, of course, in the fall, there's a community day, but we also do a welcome week. Preview into Welcome Week. Last year, for the first time, we did an event called Speed Friending. Anybody ever heard of Speed Friending? Yeah? No? Maybe? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you more about it, but when you commit, you'll hear more about it. But it was epic. I felt like the entire student body turned out. It was like hundreds of people. The room was getting warm and loud, but it was so much fun. And it was student affairs and community engagement. We worked with the Forestry Club, which you all are going to meet tomorrow, to put that event on. Housing resources. We want to mention this lightly because there's so many resources out there. Yale Grad Housing, their application opens on April 2nd. I believe they also offered a webinar today. You should be able to find a recording of it on their website, and where they're giving you all the details and insight into applying for Yale Grad Housing. Our office, Student Affairs and Community Engagement, we're gonna host an event on March 31st at 8 p.m. on navigating the New Haven rental market. There was a QR code, right, Lauren? Yeah, Lauren made a QR code. We're gonna get the QR code for you. I don't know how it fell off, or maybe it wasn't there in the first place. We're gonna get it for you. But are you all in the WhatsApp group? Yeah, Bree shared it in the WhatsApp group yesterday or the day before. We'll put it forward again so you could have it. But this is an opportunity to chat with like Elm City partners about what to look for in the New Haven rental market. As you may know, sometimes there are scams in different cities when it comes to housing, right? They'll give you the tea, the inside scoop on like what to do and what not to do and what to look for. There are also a couple other housing resources. If you go to our incoming student guide, there are links in there for living off campus and what to look for, Connecticut Renters Guide, and links to like lots of other housing resources in Connecticut. I don't live in New Haven, but based on the students I've spoken to, New Haven feels pretty accessible, right? It's walkable. If you have a bike or a scooter, there's lots of good food. And I don't know what the rental market looks like, but you'll find out from Elm City in that event. Plus, you'll probably have roommates too, right? So it'll make it a lot more affordable. All right, so we mentioned before about student interest groups, and we have many of them, and it keeps growing. This is the list from last year. We've added at least 6 in the last year or so. There's now a singing group. What are they called? Windsong? Something? Songbirds. There we go. Yep, we had songbirds. There's like photography and lots and lots and lots of different groups. So whatever your interests are, if you want to join a group, you can. If you want to lead a group, create your own group, you can. Lauren works with the Student Activities Committee to, gives the groups wings and structure and guidance at YSE. And then last but not least, we're a little tiny school with lots of good people. You'll find. What we do is we partner with many different folks to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to succeed here. So academic affairs, Matthias, I don't know if y'all have met Matthias yet. We work very closely with him. Occasionally, sometimes students come in and they struggle in the classroom for whatever reason, attendance-wise, or there's other external challenges happen, and we'll talk amongst each other and figure out, like, okay, how can we help a student resolve this situation? We also work closely with faculty, financial aid. Pamela's right over there. Pamela Moneybags Welch. I'm kidding, but she's our director for financial aid. For international students with OISS who they have access to so much information, like within the government, locally, globally, and are a key partner for us in supporting international students. And of course, mental health and counseling. Stephanie's not here, but I know she would talk about her work with YSE students. She's pretty much available year-round. You could book appointments with her. You could do it weekly if you'd like. If you want just a couple appointments, she's available. Her office is actually located in the building over there. One of the things to keep in mind, coming out of COVID, and I'm going to use COVID as a reference point because a lot of us, students included, faculty, staff, people in general, it was a pretty significant event, right? And I think coming out of it, there are a lot of mental health concerns. I remember there was an article that I read in 2024 that said there were like significant increases in anxiety and depression across the global population coming out of COVID. And so some students may have, a diagnosed mental health issue and need support, totally fine. Sometimes you show up here and something happens where, you know, you're challenged and need mental health support, and we fully support it. I'm a social worker, so is Stephanie, and so you're in company of folks that recognize that mental health is an important issue and that students need support around it. So while you have access to Stephanie for counseling, we also try to provide proactive events and programs to help think about wellness or well-being or help you remain well in your time here. And then last but not least, student accessibility services. I'll give a physical disability example. There was a couple of students, for some reason, our students, like, I saw somebody today, they had broken ankle or sprained ankle, somebody broke their knee. So if you're here and you have like a physical disability, psychological, mental disability, whatever it might be, SAS will work with your faculty, with student affairs and academic affairs to make sure that you have accommodations. And accommodations could look like, you know, note-taking, you know, have an app that takes notes for you. It could also look like maybe if you can't climb the stairs, having your classroom in a separate location. There's so many different variations of it, but we work very closely with the Student Accessibility Services Office. And this is only like a tiny list, by the way. You're gonna find out pretty quickly that Yale is like well-resourced. There's so many things happening at Yale and YSE. Within 2 years, it's hard to like grasp the depth and breadth of it, which is why we're here. So if there's an issue that arises and you're not sure what to do, come talk to us and we'll figure it out. Sounds good? All right. All right, and in addition to the welcome.ysc email, that's how you could reach us if you have any questions. But in the meantime, do you have any questions right now that I can answer for you?
I heard somebody else mention the YSE jobs board.
Uh-huh.
When does that open up for incoming students?
I know there's a deadline for us to post our jobs by May 15th or somewhere around there. So sometime in the summer. We hire students for summer before orientation, but we also hire for the fall. Shanae, go.
The May 15th is if they're looking for summer employment, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if they would qualify.
Yeah.
So it would be for fall employment, and that would be sometime in late July, August, that you'll see the jobs start to post.
Yeah. Good question.
Student employment page, if you go to admissions funding your master's degree in student employment, you will have the information of when you should do it and a link to actually go and look at those jobs.
Other questions?
I found the QR code, but I don't know how to broadcast it.
Don't worry about it. We'll drop it. If you're all in the admitted students chat, we'll drop it in there for you for the housing workshop. Sounds good? Other questions? Are there things that you're worried about that you think like, I absolutely need to know this before I leave here today? No? All right. You're going to have so much fun tomorrow at TGIF. All right. Welcome. And I hope to see y'all in the fall.
So I just wanted to let everyone know, if you do decide to commit to YSE, we also have something that we'll send within the orientation, which is our YSE Community Resource Guide. So it has everything from A to Z: restaurants, salons, grocery stores, maps, accessibility service. It's a live guide, so you can click on all the links. So if anyone's interested in trying out different restaurants, if you're a foodie, that's the place to go to look up. And then other students sometimes give little comments about, oh, I like this place versus this place. Or it's an open guide that you can also submit your ideas. If you start exploring New Haven and then find a place that's not in the guide, let me know and we'll put it in.
Thank you. Thank you, Student Affairs team. So we have one more thing to talk about before y'all can go and meet some more students and get some. There's charcuterie boards, there are little sandwiches, there's little pizza bites. But before I let you go do that, so sorry. I want to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect for the rest of this program. Our goal over the next, not quite 24 hours, but 26 hours I think we have left together, is to help you get to know if we are your right fit. For some of you, you're going to leave maybe today, hopefully not today, but maybe tomorrow, and say, I'm not sure that this is where I want to be, and that's okay. We want you to have those feelings and to feel confident in whatever decision you have. Others of you have already locked in your deposit and you're like, I'm coming here no matter what. I hope I have a good time. I hope I like these people. And some of you are going to be in the middle. You're going to leave and you're going to say, okay, I think this is still a good option for me. We always want to be your top choice. But we know that that is not going to be the case for every student, and we are okay with that. And that's why you're going to see a lot of slides that look like this. Ask your questions. Get to know who we are. See if this is where you want to be. If you are not from New England, this is the weather that you can expect a lot of the time. Last year, it was really sunny and beautiful for this program. And we're like, this is our weather. This is New England. And no one believed us. 2 years ago, there was an earthquake. And we're like, this is not our weather. And everyone believed us. So take some time to get to know if this is the kind of geographic environment you want to be in. Are these the people you see yourselves learning from and learning with? Is this the community that you see yourself being a part of? That's really important to us. We know we check the boxes on academics. We know we check the boxes on student experiences. All the things that we've talked about today, going ice skating as a community, going and stargazing as a community, going whitewater rafting for our students, the TGIF events are happy hours that our students put on. All of those are free for our students to participate in, so you never have to pay money for those things. Going on field trips as part of your classes are covered by your tuition, so you're not paying extra for any of those things. So we know we have that checked off in your box. So now it's about you. How do you feel? How are you going to experience life in your master's program? So I want you to think about that as we go through this. Ask the questions you have. We are here to be resources for a reason. We may not always have an answer, or we may not always have the answer you want us to have, and that's okay. We'll work through it all together. How does all of that sound? Okay, we are going to dismiss now for the food I talked about. I will let you know, it's going to be all the way in the back, a little geographic lesson. We are currently in Burke Auditorium. All the way at the other end of this third floor is called the Knob. This space over here is called the cafe area. It's all the same third floor. But food's gonna be in the Knob. Everything is labeled, so you're gonna see that things have labeled what kind of meats are in it, if it's vegetarian, if it's vegan, if it's gluten-free. All of the information is there. If you have further questions, you can talk to one of the caterers at the table back there. And then we're setting up right now our special interest groups. So those are some of the ones that they talked about earlier. We have students representing about half of our SIGs, which is pretty good for a Thursday night. And we invite you to ask them questions about what they're doing, how they do it, and what they enjoy. Sound good? Talk to people, okay? Take a minute if you need it, but then talk. We'll see y'all over there.